Angel Friends. This show is the epitome of girls' cartoons. It has magic, cute pets, cute outfits, friendship, and enemies to lovers. I watched this as a kid and decided to give it a rewatch because my memory was pretty hazy for it. I remember loving it but also hating it at the same time, and I feel the same way now. Why is that? Why did this iconic girls' cartoon for people born in the 2000s who were on YouTube without any restrictions prompt this reaction? Let's see. Angel Friends is about an angel named Raph and her friends who go to Golden School where they train to become guardian angels and achieve radiant halos while going up against the devils. Most of their training is done by protecting humans. Every human has one devil and one angel. One steers them to do good while the other to do bad. The main characters from the angels are Raph, Uri, Mickey, and Sweet. Usually I would describe their personality traits, but I can't this time because the angels don't really have any. Raph is the main character, so she has the most personality. Like, she's loyal and determined, sometimes hot-headed, while Sweet is dumb sometimes. But besides that, Uri, Mickey, and Sweet can just be grouped as one. Their friendship with one another is equally boring. Every time they're together, they just tell each other the meaning of friendship, hug, and say, "Oh my gosh, I love being friends with you guys."
We cooked some food for you!
And we brought something to drink.
Thank you, you guys, but you know you didn't have to.
Are you kidding? We're your best friends, aren't we?
And best friends will never abandon each other. Isn't that right, girls?
Not a chance.
Angels Friends! Together forever! Together forever!
I think the writers realized the vortex of friendship they created, so we have the devils. Selphus is Raph's counter devils, Kabale is Sweet's, Kabiria's is Uri's, and Gas is Mickey's. They all have much more recognizable traits, like Kabiria is the smart one and Gas is the dumb one used for fat jokes.
I can't let that big tub of lard beat me like this. What did you do to me?
I'm slowing you down.
No, you're fattening me up.
That's a seriously cool power.
Yeah, I can attract all the refrigerators in a mile radius.
And they're a lot more interesting when they're together, cracking jokes and just being fun. The angels spend a lot of their time talking about the devils, a problem they have, or being suffocatingly sweet to one another. And usually I wouldn't have a problem with the last part, but there has to be a break from it. Instead of them giving the angels more personality, they just have the devils show up, and after the first couple of episodes, we never see the angels without them because that's how badly the show needs them. Most conflicts and B-plots arrive when it comes to guiding their humans. It's the classic devil and angel on your shoulder, but they can directly influence the humans by challenging one another, with the winner going first. Unfortunately, these plots suck because the system behind it is terrible. The first problem is the angels always have to do good and devils always have to do bad. So whenever a challenge takes place, the devils just cheat. And it's not a bending the rules type of cheating, they'll just blatantly break the rules and do whatever they want. So what is the point of the challenges if the devils can win pretty much every time? And by the way, they do win pretty much every time, except when they decide not to cheat. First of all, the whole purpose of these challenges is destroyed. The whole reason it exists is to give a fair chance with their humans so they have free will. If only a devil is going or only an angel, that destroys their free will. But if a devil can cheat to win the challenges and then also cheat afterwards when it comes to influencing the humans by taking an angel's turn, then what's the point of the challenges?
This scooter's fantastic.
It's my turn! You can't interfere!
Do you two know each other?
Unfortunately for me, yes. She has a screw loose. I bet she nearly killed you with her screw spanner.
You're violating the veto! You can't reveal yourself, touch, or obstruct me. It's my turn!
What does that mean?
It'd be something else if the angels got caught up in this too and fought back by also cheating, but they don't because they're perfect, so they just take the L. Also, if the devils justify their cheating by saying it's because they're devils, then why don't they just cheat excessively? Why give angels a turn at all? Why care about the challenges? Just knock them out. It's an angel and devil on both shoulders. It's not one on the shoulder while the other's on your foot. The solution for this is so easy too, because they can just make them follow the rules. Both sides express the importance of a human's free will and they respect it, so just have them follow the rules to appease that. By ruining the purposes of the challenges, it becomes unimportant. But it doesn't stop at the challenges. After challenges, they transform into terrestrial forms and usually create a scenario to steer their humans. For some reason, they can do whatever they want while doing this. They can lie to their humans about anything, even if it should have consequences after they're gone. They can lie and say they're another human sister, or lie and say there's an epidemic in their area, and we're to believe that after they leave, the humans just never follow up on any of the lies that they were told. They never think to themselves, why did a doctor come to my house talking about a non-existent epidemic?
Almost 100. I'm going to prescribe some antibiotics immediately, and you need to go straight to bed.
And who was that girl who claimed she went to our school when no one's ever seen her? Nobody's ever seen Raph because for some reason, the humans do not remember or recognize them. They see the angels and devils a million times, and I don't know, maybe they appear differently to them, but the same to us, and we're just supposed to assume that or something.
That's right. Keep going. Right this way. Careful. Calmly. Hey there, Edward.
Hey, you know my name?
To top it off, the ideas of what's good and what's bad in these subplots aren't always the best. In Blow Under the Belt, Edward breaks a window while raging about his dad bailing on him for the 100th time. Edward is Sweet's human and she wasn't there to guide him, but Uri's human Jennifer sees this happen. So will it get complicated because maybe Sweet doesn't want Edward to get in trouble since she understands why he did it, while Uri wants to steer Jennifer the right way and to tell the truth? No. The problem is that Jennifer wants to be school president suddenly, so if she tells on him she'll get the teacher's vote, but at the same time Edward will get in trouble. So she'll be getting rewarded while somebody else is getting punished, which is selfish. But like, is it? I mean, when Uri interrogates her, she feels guilty telling her it's Edward. Even when she does tell them, it's not like she celebrates having their vote. The solution to her problem is going to Edward and getting him to confess. And if he doesn't, is it still selfish for her to go tell a teacher? Why does Sweet not have to convince Edward to confess? Wouldn't that make more sense as she's his angel? Or in a different episode, Edward's dad wants to hang out despite him blowing Edward off, so Edward gets mad and says no. Sweet thinks that the right thing to do is to hang with his dad anyways, while Kabiria thinks he's a deadbeat and Edward shouldn't.
Some father. He neglected him, abandoned him, and now he returns as if nothing happened. I want to spend time with you. Blah, blah, pathetic. If Edward doesn't accept this invitation, I'm afraid he won't get another opportunity.
And of course, the right thing to do is for Edward to go hang out with his dad anyways, despite him never speaking to him and neglecting him so far from what we've seen. So there's no gray area or complexity in these plots. When they have a chance to introduce some of that, they don't. The challenges and fighting in between is uninteresting because there's no logic behind it. Failing to steer a human doesn't even have any big consequences. Angels and devils get a lecture at most for failing. We don't see much of the humans or learn enough about them to care for where they're steered towards anyways, making these subplots just kind of annoying, honestly. Also, if you're wondering, I have no idea how the school works. They have one class on steering humans with one prof, they unlock new powers sometimes, and they also do tests, but like, on what? They never struggle with picking the good choice. How do written tests work in this school? Mickey is held back 1 year, and I don't know how that's even possible. Did the devil just win too much? The higher sphere angels and lower sphere angels come in one episode to take Sulphus and Raph away. The devils recite the rules of the Golden School, saying they can't punish a student without a professor present, and so they stop. Including the devils. Can we only listen to the rules if they're in a book? I don't even care anymore, honestly. I'm tired of taking notes for every time this doesn't make sense. All of that is not the main focus of this series, however. Our main character Raph is assigned to Andrew with the devil's Sulphus. The two of them touch in the first episode, breaking the veto rule and causing them to awaken Raina, a mysterious neutral in limbo who begins to use the two to break out by committing a sacrilege. This is what the story centers around, and for the most part, it's pretty good. So I'll start with the bad part. Raina's a great villain. Her backstory is great, and so are her motives. She wants to take the free will of all humans because fighting between angels and devils has always caused problems, and she wants revenge on both sides for rejecting her after her sacrilege. She's incredibly powerful and poses a heavy threat, which is also where her one fault is. She's initially chained in limbo, the worst place any angel and devil can go, but not for her. She can almost endlessly use her powers. It seems the only thing it stops her from is physically moving. She can watch literally everything outside limbo. It's not like she even sends anything to spy. She just has constant surveillance, which they know about.
She has been spying on them through these?
Mm-hmm. The neutral one has always spent her time watching our students.
There's literally an orb of destiny that has its own will and chooses who's going to challenge one another in a devil versus angels tournament. She somehow manages to plant a decoy of this orb, and she fully controls it from limbo with no restrictions. If she can do anything she wants, why doesn't she just have a mind control device that forces Raph and Sulphus to fall in love? I'm kidding, cause she literally does. It's a spider that bites both of them, which of course she sends through Malachite, who she can freely open portals for from limbo and he can just get into the school without anything stopping him, which doesn't even matter because it's not like they recognize him despite seeing him multiple times.
The music is a bit whiny for my taste, but the DJ is fantastic.
I agree. The DJ's dark.
I somehow think we've seen him somewhere before.
I don't think so. He doesn't have a face you'd easily forget.
She is literally in the least limbo I have ever seen. It's one thing to be OP, but it's another to be a comically nonsensical levels of OP. But look, I'm done hating. Part most people watch this for and enjoy it is the romance between Raph and Sulfus. Raina needs a sacrilege to be free, which is why she works to make them fall in love. The development they go through is pretty good, as it happens in stages from how they gradually go to not liking each other, being kind of friends, thinking they like one another, to fully being in love. There's twists and turns throughout, like their profs getting involved and their own reservations. What really helps too is how good the pacing is in establishing their relationship. And I want to keep this mostly spoiler free, but when the series of episodes involving their sacrilege comes, it's amazing. The drama, the dialogue, it's all so good, and unfortunately is not at the same level for the rest of the show. They both have nice character moments too due to their relationship. Raph is pretty by the books, so breaking rules by being with the devil is something she struggles with, while Sulfus struggles with being a devil and having to balance being bad but also good for Raph. Also, they're just cute. It's nice seeing them interact. The style is pretty cute too. The humans have pretty good designs. I really like the mean girls. I love the devil designs. Every devil, even random background ones, look great. And I like how they create contrast by the devils having a lot sharper angles compared to the angels' softer curves. The angels, while being cute, are kind of meh. Their outfits are a little bit ugly, and they have this obnoxious 2005 MySpace glitter GIF effect, but angels are pretty much hardcore fairies. They could have gone a lot crazier with these outfits, but don't fret, they're all equal when it comes to ugly terrestrial form outfits. They also all have transformation scenes from terrestrials to eternals, and I always rock with a transformation scene. And they even give the boys one, which is a rarity. The first half is better paced and a lot stronger than the second. Episodes are around 13 minutes, but take out the opening and ending theme, it's really only 10. So it's impressive how they develop the love story so well while keeping it balanced with human-centered episodes, but it falters in the second half, mainly because nothing happens. Raina just doesn't do anything at all once she's free until the last set of episodes, and even then she takes her time with her plan. We don't see much of Raph and Sulfus' love story either, but it's filled with challenges and problems with the humans, which, like I said, is the weakest point. We see less of Raph and Sulfus together too. They are both wondering if they actually like each other or if it was just Raina, and that's all they do. They just wonder and think about it, but don't interact until close to the end, which they probably only did to wrap it up clearly from how rushed the ending is. Rina's plan starting and them defeating her is really quick and lacks any drama because it's sort of lame. They just plan to trick her and thinking Raph's on her side, but we know the whole entire time that she's not, which ruins any sense of drama. In fact, they excessively explain it by cutting to her thoughts, emphasizing how this is all fake.
I still can't believe that Raph intends to be loyal to me.
I absolutely have to convince Raina that I intend to be loyal to her.
But if she indeed destroys the school, I wouldn't question her loyalty.
I must destroy the Golden School, or at least make her believe that I will.
We're almost there. I must not do anything other than wait and see what she does.
We're almost there. I can only hope that Raina doesn't recognize this as a setup.
All in all, I'd give the first season of Angel Friends I can't wholeheartedly dislike it because 1, I watched this as a kid, 2, I try to suppress my hater tendencies, but 3, it just needs a lot of improvement. A lot of this could work if they polished up some of these ideas and made good use of them. Raina mentions that devils and angels have always caused problems for humans because they can't get along with one another, which is so interesting. That's not even her main motive for going against them. She's just mad that they were mean to her, but if they just expanded on that idea. Or the veto rules between the angels and the devils. This includes not touching or interfering with one another. But Raph and Sulfus touch and nothing happens. Also, the devils interfere with the angels all the time and they're just fine. So why is that?
There are no other doors and no other windows in this kitchen.
Thanks, Uri. I have eyes.
Raina mentions this too and they're just like, huh, that's weird. And then they forget about it and it's never brought up again. Something that does make better use of this world and concept is the comic book it's based on. Same concept where Raph goes to angel school to earn her halo and they go up against devils, but in this one, while Sulfus is still in love with Raph, she's in love with a human. There's also no Raina. Aside from overall concept and ideas and the show taking some stuff from the comic and spicing it up, they're entirely different. I read a bit of the comic and it was pretty good. It also just looks really good, it's really saturated and the pages are so busy, it's nice. I couldn't find credible sources, so take this cautiously, but the wiki does say that 2 versions of the show were made. The one that followed the comic was by Strandamani and had 26 episodes of 20 minutes each. The one the production company ultimately chose was by Mondo TV, which aged them up, changed designs and character roles, lasting for 13 minutes with 52 episodes. Honestly, I kind of wish we got the comic version. There is a trailer available, and although I do like the style of the one we got, I like this style more. Also, one of the rules in the comics is that angels can't touch humans, which Mickey does, causing her to repeat a year. So maybe this one would follow with actual consequences. The animation is so much better, as well as the dubbing. The animation and dubbing for the one we got is really bad. The animation is honestly just goofy. They have really limited and stilted movement and facial expressions. Sometimes it has a really good fluid animation for specific scenes, but most of the time they move like paper dolls. But that's not nearly as bad as the dubbing. The original show is in Italian, so it's classic Western dubbing issues. They have a tendency to over-explain everything. There's constant exposition.
That's why we've come here to fight!
Thanks, Mr. Exposition. I've never been very good about following plots.
They speak over one another, and sometimes their mouths don't even move when they speak.
I don't know. Let's just figure it out in the car.
Let's get going.
They're gonna get there on time and make friends.
That's right, Raph.
Yeah,
and they'll
you
make
tell
real
him.
friends too. Okay, so what do we do now, Raph?
We just keep going. If we find a way out of here for ourselves, we can find Sweet.
And Kabale.
But we better keep on our toes. This place is a trap.
I'm not kidding when I say they speak too much. Whole episodes are spent on just talking and repeating stuff we already know for the millionth time. They also just speak strangely in the dub because of the translation. They talk in circles or say stuff that's supposed to be really deep but comes off as silly, like they Google translated it from Italian.
What is love? What is a kiss? These are simple questions, and yet we have been trying for an eternity to answer them. The mystics have written of it, for time without end. Love is a temporary madness. It erupts like an earthquake and then subsides. The poets have tried as well. A kiss, when all is said, what is it? A rosy dot placed on the eye in loving. All the great writers, they do not love that do not show their love.
I'm going to say this as Christian as I can. You just talk too damn much.
They also constantly say, "for once I agree with you," like seconds apart from each other. And there's so many noises. When I walked away with an episode still playing, it was them just constantly saying and ah. This show really made me understand the sub versus dub debate like no other. There's concept art available for the Strandamani version, and the trailer is dubbed with original music and everything, so maybe some episodes were made and are still out there, and we'll never see them because of a million legal issues, and because Mickey's character design is literally racist, so maybe somebody can leak it for a day on Twitter and then delete their whole account. I did some research, which was hard because everything's in Italian, but my theory is that they went with Mondo because it's a much bigger company than Strandamani, and they had a lot more connections to distribute the show. And the Mondo one was definitely cheaper to make. The person who uploaded the trailer before the official show aired seemed pretty upset that it wasn't the final version, and the show pretty much killed the comic version with it getting cancelled and a short-term one focused on the show starting. So that's sad. The cartoon was pretty popular though, based on what the wiki says for the rating, and more credibly, the cartoon had dolls, a TV movie, another comic, and the fact that there was a season 2. Season 2 takes off after season 1 and the movie, which I watched, and it's uninteresting, so I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist. Sophus is taken by a girl named Blue to a hideout where 2 people are keeping Raph's mom contained. They say he has to follow what they tell him or they'll hurt her mom, and Blue is there to watch over him because she's made a deal with them to get something she wants. And the stuff that they want Sophus to do has to do with his relationship with Raph. Now the second season manages to do the complete opposite of the first season. While the best part about season 1 is Raph and Sophus, it's the worst part in season 2. Since Sophus Sulfus can't act freely with Raph. Their relationship and conversations are really high tension and confusing because they suffer from a strong case of miscommunication. If they could both just have a full, normal conversation without cutting one another off, this would be a lot easier. A lot of their scenes are also just the same thing over and over again. Sulfus will go, I have to save Raph's mom, but she's mad at me. And Raph will be slightly racist, going, ugh, Sulfus is so confusing. He is a devil after all.
This personification technique is a total waste of time. But at least I get to waste that time next to you, Raph.
I don't see why we have to try this together and not by ourselves. But I still don't want to be separated from you, Sulfus.
There's so many things I want to tell you, Raph. But if I do, those two blackmailers will hurt your mother.
Why am I so surprised? Sulfus is a devil. He's used to lying about anything. Don't lie to me. Oh, of course. You're a devil, a professional liar.
Will you calm down?
Huh? No, I should never have believed you when you said you loved me. You can't love.
Raph, let me explain. Oh, what can I say? I can't tell her. I have to ignore Raph. Otherwise, those villains Cassidy and Kubral will hurt Raph's mother. To that again, huh? Bitter enemies.
Yes, as if nothing ever happened between us. It has to be that way.
I'm sorry, Raph, but I have to treat you as if you mean nothing to me.
I think this would have worked better if we didn't know what was happening with Sulfus right at the beginning, so we would only see Raph's perspective and also be confused like she is until it's revealed to us. Instead, we have to suffer with this constant back and forth every episode. However, everything else is much better. They really improve on the challenges by having the challenge room control it instead of them choosing one. So now the devils can't get away with cheating because the room won't allow it. The challenges are also interesting, ranging from mental to physical, and they help further the plot rather than being used for standstill B plots. And the supporting characters have character arcs. Uri struggles with feeling second to Raph all the time and wanting to take charge, which is cool and makes her interesting finally. Mickey doesn't really have an arc, but there is a focus on her and Gas becoming more frenemies despite being angel and devil. And Sweet develops a crush on the boy her human also has a crush on. All of them have a lot more life and aren't so static, and their friendship isn't just endless hugging and I love yous. I especially like how they work on Mickey and Gas's relationship, because although she doesn't go through a specific character arc, they're still able to make the subplots with her in it interesting by giving them some sort of developing and improving upon who they are as characters. I mentioned how I don't know how the school works, and honestly, I didn't even care how it worked, but they expanded on it a lot. They have multiple classes now that play into the plot and different classrooms. They can literally become devils and angels on their human shoulders through projection now, and they have personification classes where they put themselves in their human shoes. That being said, the humans themselves are a lot more interesting. Rather than one-off stories, they have reoccurring issues and more consistent characterization. They're a lot more fleshed out and they don't feel like distraction or filler from the main story. They're also less confusing on what's good and what's bad, with there being an episode about how having only devils and only angels would both be bad for humans. But the one thing it falters on is pacing. While the first half is better and well paced in season 1, it's the opposite in season 2. The first half of the second season is slow, because it focuses mostly on Raph and Sulfus' storyline, which is the weakest. Now luckily in the second half, the storyline between them picks up, fixing the one problem the show really has besides dubbing and animation and being sort of unfunny.
I guess the devils are here.
Of course we're here, live and in the flesh.
You're in a whole lot of flesh, Tubby.
When I'm nervous, I get hungry.
And when you're relaxed, you don't.
Then too. You're calling me stupid? Weren't you the one that got held back a year?
That's enough. Leave Mickey alone, fatso.
The map! It's moving! It's alive!
Are you going to kill it and eat it? Yes, are you there?
He went into a trance. He often does when he's hungry.
Yeah, we're gonna have to read at least 2 tons of books.
But you eat 10 times that in pizzas every day.
But anyways, no more miscommunication between them or constantly going back and forth. The main story starts to move forward and everything else continues to be good. The season ends with a strong setup for season 3, which I was excited for until I reminded myself it doesn't exist. There's no third season, probably just because season 2 didn't do as well as season 1. The main draw of the first season was the love story, and they really mess it up, so I doubt kids stayed watching for the second half, and I'm saying this as someone who also dropped the second season as a kid a couple episodes in. Angel Friends is a confusing show. If the second season didn't save it, I would probably have harsher words to say, honestly. They also made a pilot teaser called Darkly in 2016, where Raina killed Raph and Sulfus and they were reborn as humans. It literally looks AI generated. I know people like to hate on these dark live actions, but that's only on the internet. The box office numbers for Disney live actions don't lie. Maybe Angel Friends could come back. Hopefully not like this, but who knows? I wouldn't say Angel Friends is a must watch, but if you like girly cartoons, magical girls, and like carefree cartoons, I'd say just give the second season a watch. And then don't watch the first season. You can just skip the first season. Yo, you can watch the episodes where Raph and Sulfus committed sacrilege. It won't make any sense, but they're good.
We were great!